No, they're not, they're brolgers. Sorry guys, totally misleading you. Picture with the all those white birds up in the trees here on our right hand side, just on the edge of the water. Egrets. Terrible. Up about 20 metres up in the trees. We'll see what we can find. Now the waters we're on at the moment, Yellow Waters, we're going to stay here for a little bit, then we're going to head out into the South Alligator River, see what we can find out there. So this morning we're looking for our dingers, of course, but we're looking at any sort of animal out here. We've got a lot of wild animals, a few pest animals, unfortunately. Huge cull on them, and again in the 90s. So basically we do have buffalo out here, but not the numbers we have. So the water's been pretty much what you see, the colour of them at the moment for a long time now. The locals call this Nurunguturaba. Everyone after me. Okay guys, we was actually going to say I had arranged for a crocodile to pop up for the sunrise shot, but I thought I better not promise that. Close and personal to them. Just in case one day they get nice and close and personal to us, which is fair enough, sun to come up. And once that sun comes up, usually this time of morning, and when on a cool morning, basically you'll start to spill that blood out to the rest of the body, warming yourself up nice and gradually. So hopefully by about maybe 5 o'clock this afternoon, nice and warm, the barramundi and things like that, which are ambush fish, and they hide in amongst the grasses and tree roots and things like that are in the water. That's not bad. Normally it takes us about an hour to find a croc on a cold morning like this, so straight off the bat. Up at about 11 o'clock, you go up about 20 metres. I think it's a little whistling kite up the top of the tree there. Very iconic. They make this kind of a sound. That is a terrible impersonation. Also, as we're going along, keep your eyes open in these little bushes and things we have all along the edges of the riverways here. You're going to see thousands of these on the edges of the bank as we go along. Called plume whistling ducks. Now you can hear that sound, nice and fat, and then they fly back just before dawn, and they congregate in huge numbers along the banks here. And they basically chill out for the whole day. The field's maybe 100 or whatever metres away. Unfortunately, when we get there, we're probably going to be looking straight at the sun. Also looking over there, oh look, big buffalo out there in the field on the left as well. Now the buffalo, they're not an Australian animal, it's technically a pest, so if the national parks hear about this guy, basically they'd have to come out here and put a bullet in him, unfortunately. But yeah, they're from the Timorese claim to basically grab the land here in the top end. English got in first. You can imagine back to the late 1800s, you've come from Europe, come out to the heat. I mean, this is a beautiful cold morning, but when it gets hot here, you come back in a couple of months, guys. When she gets hot, she gets really hot. You know, we're talking 40 degrees Celsius, 90% humidity all day long. The isolation probably would have got to them. Our friend the mosquito probably would have driven them nuts. No Wi-Fi, all of that sort of stuff. They basically they just packed up and left, but they left all the animals. Lots of flowers and these lilies around us. Probably can do it at the moment while the sun's on the right side. Make sure I'm not killing them. Oh, here we go, one of the birds I was looking for too. But there's one right here behind the back of the boat. So as I go back, you see a little bird. It's literally, and it's going to be a metre off the left-hand side. Now he's walking along the lilies here, only about, say, what is he, 12 to 15 centimetres high. Called a comb-crested jacana, walking on the lily pads. Now, because it's called a jacana, comb-crested jacana. And when he walks in that fine weed, you can't see it, so it looks like he's walking on water. So yeah, got the nickname, the Jesus bird. Helps with the incubation. Also, if you get stressed, if you see him red and it's not quite a nice red colour, it looks like it's a pinky orange, that means Dad's stressed. If he's stressed out, the blood doesn't flow up to the top of his head. Because where they live, they're just vulnerable to everything, so if anything you come across the land and get them, they will. Birds want about an inch in size. Still trying to work out why the crocs would be. Here we go, we've got an adult here on the left off the back of the boat. You can see his nice big red cone there when he sticks his head out. There's Hymenacne buffalo grass. It does float, so it goes up and down with the wet season. So that grass just goes up with it, floats up with it. You don't see the banks or anything like that. But the other thing that's special about this river, the section we're in at the moment, months ago, but we're still getting water spilling off the top of the plateau. Now that fills this part of the river, so because it's not affected by the tide, as that water starts to spill out, it will get lower and lower and lower, this water. So we've probably got maybe half a metre to a metre of this still to drop down before the rains come back. This is actually what our estuarine, our gingas prefer, the fresh water. They can go into salt water. They got a little gland at the back of the tongue. They call the lingual gland. That sifts out salt water. But basically, they prefer to be in these fresh waterways, walking right on the water's edge. I try and get over as close as I can. It does get quite shallow on the edges of the banks here, and there are a lot of hidden logs and things. Water's trying to get that little position this morning, getting ready to warm themselves up. Hopefully he's still around up here somewhere, the big fella. Absolutely very impressive to check out. Bit of action out here this morning. Yeah, these little two black and white ducks, you can see them there on the edge of the waterways. Again, about what, 10 o'clock or whatever, and they've got a couple of over there with the egrets as well. Not called Burdigan ducks or Rajah shell ducks. 1 o'clock in the water, so hoping, it doesn't look like too much action. We did have a big buffalo in here yesterday. So there's a couple of little crocs in there still. So we need to rip off a bit of body part. So like with this buffalo yesterday, the guys who saw it reckon the meter off from the shore and then go up about 2 metres. See a beautiful orange chest, beautiful dark azure. And then when they get close enough, sometimes he'll do what he did, went underwater. But I'm not sure if he lost the bubbles. Alright, we're heading in the right direction. I don't know much of that you heard. So definitely there's a buffalo down here with a few females on him. And the big boy's around somewhere. Could be it there on the right, guys. 1 o'clock. That's where they shot one of our big, poor old Larry. A big buffhead just sat there and gouged on him for a couple of days. And
a crocodile ripping into it up the throughway.
No worries, mate. There was one here a few years back. Maybe about 7 years ago. One thing we don't have to worry about is her looking up and seeing if there's anything edible in the boat. Around about 12 years of age, they're going to be sexually mature. Now, they're going to be around 2.3 maybe. Used to say about 200. More proxy on the right, the river. Anyone from England, that big wall up in the sky, no? White-bellied seagulls. Very sacred, as I said. So they actually believe this bird, when they die, will carry their soul onto the next life. So you can't kill a bird like that. Because if you fish out here, you've got to use lures, but I've seen it over on the east coast of Australia. People fishing, getting fish on their lines, and before they can get it off the hook, these birds will come down and just basically steal it straight off the bird up there on the left-hand side at about 9:30. You can see him up high in the about 50 or about 10 metres up, maybe not even that. The action do its thing, but if you've got any questions, please ask. I've got a I don't mind. Scare things away for a bit. So one of the things I love to do is just once they come out in the water, just glide alongside of them and just see what they get up to. Again, can't guarantee she's going to stay above the water level for us. tail, you see little black patterns on it. But they are the same creature, they're just basically Darwin has properties of farming up here. Now, it's still in the national park, not that many. Now, I always thought these ones over there on the left, if you see them, we're part of the, you see them off in the distance as we go along. By jurisdiction, a lot of them are actually local bedding men and women. You know, it's not a big, they're not a big couple in the sense of selling. Basically, they live in right. We'll come here on the left. Yeah, this is what we call the three ways. So if we hook around to the right, we're going to keep following the South Alligator River. But basically, yeah, so once he hits that neutral buoyancy, he'll start swimming around. Now, if he sees a fish, he'll pull that neck back, that beautiful snake neck. He's showing it off. Good on you, buddy. Pull that neck back, and when he'll basically strike out like a snake does, and he'll flick it in the air and they'll eat it head first. Has to be head first, otherwise they choke. Pelican flying here on the right hand side. Can you see him up there about 2:30? Gentleman asked me yesterday, "Do you get any pelican here?" I said, "Yeah, but we haven't seen them for ages." So right on cue, they're back. So that bird there, the Australasian darter, they actually call it the lark bird. Because it goes lark, 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 lark. But we'll just make our way up there a little bit and say good day to these buffaloes. So they're nice and close. Normally they're not that close. Got another jabberoo out there at one. Now it is a pest weed, unfortunately. It's called Salvinia molesta. Got it introduced to you. I couldn't tell you exactly how many. The unfortunate thing about it, it doubles its size every 7 or 2. There's weeds all across Kakadu. But I have seen it. Now, when I went back then 4 or 5 years ago, that billabong was clean as, pristine, fish were in there, it was just totally come back to life. The weevil had eaten a whole lot out, and then when it got to the edge, finished up eating all the weed, basically had nothing left. Aboriginal communities. Now, that's not just a nice thing to do, but up here, if you have an abundance of anything, you must share it. So that's what he did. He planted it all out, shared it around. That's of course, I have to start heading back. Just over 15 minutes or so to get back, and usually by half an hour before the end of the tour. Decided, you know, not to. We did the right thing and stay in the car, which is very sensible. Definitely don't get out of your cars, and all you're doing is giving them something to aim at. But yeah, basically, so the buffalo came and did what we call sardine camp, and literally only about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we got the phone call. But a good wet season will flush all of this stuff out into the alligator. You're going to grab a couple of them. The first one you can sit on your head. You've got a nice big wide brimmed, very sun smart hat to wear. Yourself up in that sun. Now if she starts to feel she's overheating, what she does, she opens that mouth, lets the down, or regulates her temperature. They call it cooling the brain. But I do like doing this. Just gliding alongside of them. Oh, come back. There we go. Keep telling the boss. Put the breakfast buffet on the left-hand side, a cappuccino machine on the right-hand side. Out here in the waterways. Now, one of the things that Benny asked us to do, we do this every tour.